day turning into night. Eyes closed tight, open for the first time. New skins for new wine. Struggling with an old rhyme.
We're out camping in the tent tonight, which we're really pleased about because we didn't think we were going to get out in the tent this trip. But yeah, we've managed it. We found this really, really nice spot by a sea loch. And it's a really nice evening, really still and sunny. Kind of reminds us of Canada because we went to Canada a few years ago to move there, and then COVID happened and one thing and another, and we just didn't get back out. But yeah, it makes us feel a little bit nostalgic for Canada. All this like pines going down to the lochs, and yeah, we're just gonna set up our tent, which because we're in Scotland we can camp obviously respectfully, so we're just gonna set it up quite early, which is nice, being able to set up early rather than after dark, and then cook our dinner, just enjoy the quiet. It's really, really nice. There's Brochan down there with Flossy. Tent is all pitched and set up ready, and we have a pretty nice view. Can't believe how clear the water is here. It's just like crystal clear. I think we're gonna have a swim in the morning if it's not too cold. Brochan's just heating up our dinner, which was last night's curry, and then we've got hot chocolates for after, which is even nicer.
Are you making that?
Brochan's making that. He's the hot chocolate expert. But the view here is really quite amazing, and it is so peaceful, apart from that machine that's going on over there. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, so glad we got out camping before the end of the trip.
Yeah, I know. I've been really disappointed if we didn't.
Yeah. What did you say?
Break.
One thing I always bring when I'm wild camping is warm, like thermal leggings and warm woolly socks. It doesn't matter what weight it adds, it just is such a nice thing to get into after walking. You've been on for ages.
I have to get all the way to the start.
I'm making hot chocolate. Can't see anything. Morning.
Morning.
It's a pretty chilly morning this morning. I didn't sleep very well last night at all because I was cold, and usually I use my puffer coat as a pillow at night, and because I slept in my puffer coat I didn't have a pillow, so I feel a bit stiff this morning. But I think you slept quite well, didn't you?
Oh, I slept really well. It was lovely.
Yeah, so feeling a bit tired this morning, even though we went to bed really early. It was a beautiful night last night though. The sky was completely clear and not the clouds, the stars were really, really bright. We were hoping to see the aurora, but we didn't. But it's really nice again this morning. It's really still. The loch is just like, well, there's a little few ripples, but it's really quiet. We might brave a swim.
Yep, I think I will.
I might not, depending. Flossie fast asleep in her sleeping bag. Flossie.
Flossie, Flossie, come on.
There she is. Birds are all singing. Just making my third cup of coffee of the morning. I'm a bit addicted to coffee. I just wanted to say about being aware of ticks when you're camping or walking, or like just being outdoors really. When we've gone back to the van now, we'll check ourselves to make sure we haven't got ticks and remove any. We've got these little things called tick twisters, which I think are designed for pets, but they're really useful and get them out really easy because you don't want to leave the head in basically when you get them out. We left ours in the van, so I'll get a picture up and put a link to them. We tend to wear like clothes tucked in, especially, I mean in winter it's easy to do that, in summer it's not so easy. Like trousers tucked into socks and things like that to cover as much of your skin as possible. And I find that dark coloured clothing attracts less ticks than light coloured clothing for some reason. People do recommend you wear light coloured clothing. I think it's so that you can see them. But in my experience, when I've gone out in dark clothing, I've had less ticks than when I've gone out with light clothing. I'm not sure what that's about. Some of them can be tiny, like the size of a poppy seed, and at that point you can't really get them out with a tick twister. We had to use duct tape once when we were in Italy, and I had about 30 ticks on me, and most of them were like these tiny ones. We just had to use duct tape and rip them off. It's horrible, but there's not really much else you can do. Yeah, and there are repellents you can use as well, and we use some essential oils, which I'll list. They can carry Lyme's disease, and I don't think everyone really knows about Lyme's disease. I think it is more well known now, but my sister actually contracted Lyme's disease when she was 12, and it ended up being a very long-term illness, and she didn't really start recovering until she was 25. And I think like if you catch it in the first 2 weeks of infection, you can treat it with antibiotics, but after that it gets a lot more complicated. So it's a good idea, like if you're out, to check yourself, and if you think you've been bitten, just keep an eye on yourself, and if you get flu-like symptoms or a bullseye rash, it's a good idea to go to the doctors and see if you can get antibiotics. I mean, I've been bitten by a lot of ticks in my life and I haven't contracted Lyme, so I think it's quite unlucky if you do get it, but it's better to be safe than sorry, I think. Yeah, just my quick note of the video while I make my coffee. We've just packed up the tent and now we've decided we are going to brave a swim. I don't know how cold it's going to be. Probably freezing. I've got my little wetsuit. Are you going in without? Just going in his pants.